What's up guys, Sean here, bringing you a video in collaboration with top10racistuniversities.org, and today we're going to talk about how Georgetown University used a policy designed to protect their students from racism in a racist manner in order to fire and put on leave two professors that were speaking honestly about the prospects of their students. In a Zoom call that was later posted online, two Georgetown law professors, Sandra Sellers and David Bastin, were discussing their experiences grading their students that are in their classes. During this conversation, Sellers expressed angst at the idea that every year when she's grading her students, there are more African American students near the bottom of the class than she'd like them to be. Quote, "You know what? I hate to say this, I end up having this angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks," Sellers commented. Sellers added, quote, "I get some really good ones, but there are also usually some that are just plain at the bottom. It drives me crazy, so I feel bad." Now, the video of this intended private conversation that occurred after classes had already concluded ended up being posted to a database where students and faculty could access it. And of course, shortly after it was accessed by some students, it ended up being recorded and posted to social media. Quickly after that, Georgetown's Black Law Student Association collected over 1,000 signatures demanding that the professor be fired for these allegedly racist comments. Now, unfortunately, as happens in way too many of these stories, the Georgetown Law School Dean, Bill Traynor, immediately gave in to the demands of those who were outraged. He fired Professor Sellers and put Batson on administrative leave, I guess for the thought crime of having a conversation but not saying any of the things that people were offended by. The sad irony of this case, of course, is that Sellers wasn't expressing any racial animus at all whatsoever. She was upset about the fact that the bottom ranks of her class often contain more black students than she would like. However, she never expressed any indication whatsoever that she was trying to puff up the grades of these students in order to match what she would want them to be. She was grading them fairly based on the meritocracy. There was no indication of racism, and the idea that she should have changed the grades in order to make the outcomes that the university or the students would have wanted in terms of racial equity would have actually been racist. But despite this, Dean Traynor was unrelenting in his condemnation. Quote, "I am appalled that the two members of our faculty engaged in a conversation that included reprehensible statements on the evaluation of black students. I have further reviewed the incident and have now spoken to Professor Sellers and Professor Batson, giving each the opportunity to provide any additional context." Dean Traynor noted that Sellers had offered her resignation to him, however, he couldn't even grant her that dignity, even though, again, she clearly said nothing racist, so he notified her that he was terminating the relationship. And even after the indignity of this dean turning what she said completely upside down, not accepting her resignation, and firing her and then announcing it to the world, Sellers offered an apology for her insensitivity. The reason this case is so significant is because Dean Traynor is the head of Georgetown Law, and this is how he reacted to a case that involved professors discussing a problem honestly and being anxious and upset about the results that they were seeing. And it is for that anti-intellectual response, completely submitting to the mob, that Georgetown University gets on our list of the top 10 racist universities in America. If you want to learn more about this case in particular, or more of the cases we cover, please visit us at top10racistuniversities.org. There you can not only learn more about these cases, but you can actually help us fight back against these racist institutions. This has been Sean Fitzgerald for the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Till next time.